Well, it's official. Tonight is the last night of HHN 2025. We're here for the full night. I just arrived here at Stay and Scream, just barely. I only made it here about 10 minutes before park closed. Did a little bit of a jog through City Walk and made it with about 1 minute remaining. Trust me, I wasn't the only one doing that. There's a lot of people that do the fast Stay and Scream jog. First time I've had to do it this year, actually. But we're here for the full night. They're ready for crowds. I'm ready for our last night of Horror Nights. My game plan right now, I think it's Terrifier opening, but we're gonna be heading to the Tribute store real quick, right to start off, because everything is 70% off starting tonight. So as always, every year of HHN, the last week, everything starts going on sale. Starts usually around 30 to 50. This year it did start at 50% off on Wednesday. Goes up to 70 by the last night. So a couple things that I still want. I did get a couple things already Wednesday when I was here live streaming, because there's a couple things that I wanted for 50. A few more things I'd want for 70. So we're gonna check inside. Obviously already the pickings are getting slim here. It does seem like they still have a decent amount of merch on this side of the store. They do still have the cups for this year. These aren't like the main freestyle cups, but do still work as them. So this is one problem you start seeing towards the 70% off night. So this is a shirt I did kind of want, that is the Scare Zone shirt. They're down to either smalls, extra smalls, and 3XL. So you kind of lose that large, extra large, and XXL range for a lot of the shirts. Not everything, but that's definitely the range that struggles the most. It does seem like they still have plenty of the house shirts that I'm actually wearing tonight. I got that on the 50% off night to make sure they still have my size. It does seem like they still have it. So that's always good. They do usually stock those like more popular shirts a little bit more. A lot of Terrifier merch still here. That surprised me a little bit. So I didn't see anything I was super dying for in there currently. So I am going to quickly walk over to the Five and Dime just real quick, and we might hit up that front gift shop too. It is already almost 5:15. Terrifier does open 5:30, so I do want to get in line pretty soon. But again, I do want to check out some of the merch, because again, it looks pretty slim pickings already in there. Obviously, as soon as the park opened this morning, I probably should have come this morning. I didn't. That's when a lot of people will come in and buy things, because that's when it first goes to 70% off. And obviously, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff goes to scalpers. That are going to buy a bunch of everything to sell online for about double the discounted price. That might be closer to normal price, but they're still going to make quite a lot of money off of that. All right, next up, Five and Dime over here. Next to the Masquerade Scare Zone. They're putting out some of the props right now, as they do every Stay and Scream. Interestingly enough, it does seem like a lot of the merch has already been moved out of here. So some of the normal merch has already made its way back for Five and Dime. Still got a few things though. Well, I did find a couple of things I did want. So I didn't necessarily was dying for this, but again, 70% off. It's in my size. It's the Five Nights at Freddy's long sleeve. And then they do still have this gnarly candle that I do want one of, just because it's funny. It smells like freshly baked pizza. I would say that's accurate. So I'm gonna get both of these. Again, 70% off, and it does discount stack. So if you have an AP or a team member ID, they do stack that discount on top. Well, I did think it was weird that a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff was there. Apparently it's not part of the discount. There's a sign right above it that says 70% off, but they told me at checkout it's not. So I didn't get any of it. I, again, didn't really want any of it super bad, but I was like, well, it's there. But yeah, I kind of don't understand why it's not. I don't know if it's still selling well, and that's why. But the candle's a weird one, because my candle does not smell good. I was buying it more for a joke. So I guess we'll check the front store real quick. Terrifier is about to open, so we'll make our way back there after checking that front store. Alright, well, it doesn't look like they have much difference up here. They do still have a lot of these acrylic stands that maybe I'll get. I'll see if they have all of the little spots for it. So they do still have a lot of these. I do see some of the stickers, but I just don't know if it's all of them. So I am only seeing Ghoul and Jason. At least it looks like it. So that does mean I'm not going to get it, just because I don't really see the point in having two and not all five for the IP houses. But and this is all they have left. Not very much. But we're heading back towards Terrifier now. Again, first house of the night. It does open in like 5 minutes, so I might end up waiting about an hour. I'm not too concerned about it because, again, my game plan tonight currently has hit a lot of the houses I've not hit a lot. So I've hit Galkin, Fallout, Hatchet, and Grave so many times at this point that I'm probably going to try to avoid those a little bit tonight. Tonight I'm focusing Terrifier, Jason, FNAF, Dolls, even though I really don't like Dolls. I haven't done it very much, so I'll give it another go. And then I've done it probably my most house, if not Galkin's my most, but Artista is my favorite this year, so I'd like to get one run on it tonight. That's the game plan currently. You know, good thing we're not going to 5 Nights at Freddy's. It's 3 hours already. I expect it to be very busy tonight. It is last night. Usually, historically, last night's not busy, but this year has been anything but the normal. So I'm expecting big crowds and long lines throughout into even 2 o'clock tonight. So we'll just see what we can get done. Great googly moogly, it's an hour and a half. Well, you know what they say, it is what it is sometimes. So we will be hopping in for an hour and a half queue into Terrifier.
What are we waiting for?
So actually, after seeing that line, after seeing that line, as you just saw, that thing is probably more than an hour and a half. That is the longest line I have seen Terrifier the entire year. So my kind of plan is to do Brave of Flesh. That's what I'm getting in line for right now. There should be no line in here. Then should get in within the first few minutes of it opening. Wrap back around, and I'm hoping this goes down to an hour if it does. So that's the hope. Basically being able to do 2 houses in the same time, I would be able to do that one. In theory, I guess we'll see if that happens. Yeah, this is what we're talking about here. This is a good line. Just one little row. It's cold in here too. Well, Grave of Flesh has definitely fallen a little bit on my list for me personally. I still think better than Dolls. And I would probably put it above Fallout. I'll put my list at the end. I'm sure I'm going to talk about it. But I think it's a very fun house, but it struggles with the storyline. I think the storyline is very not coherent. Even if you listen to the podcast, it's not super coherent what's going on, especially towards the end. I think that's where it really falls short for me. But otherwise, I still think it's a very fun house. It has some very fun scares and some really cool practical effects, and also some really great gore in that house. All right, so my plan kind of worked. It is still posted about an hour and a half, but as you can see, the line's a little bit less longer than earlier. So hopefully it'll be a little bit less for us, but I'll time it and tell you how it is. Well, we got out of Terrifier. Unfortunately, it was posted wait time. We waited about an hour and 40 minutes, so quite some time. Actually, we were doing really good until the last switchback. We only waited about an hour until that last switchback, but that last switchback was almost 40 minutes. Express got insanely long, and it just caused the line not to move. Obviously, again, as I mentioned before, I really dislike Express this year. I think it's way oversold every night. It causes the lines to be ridiculous. I mean, if it wasn't for Express in that line, even if all the Express was in the normal line, that line would have been 45 minutes. I can guarantee it. But otherwise, again, it was very fun. We, again, waited about that hour 40. I thought the house was definitely an improvement over my last run that was about 2 weeks ago. Obviously, as I've mentioned, runs throughout the houses are getting really good as the year progresses. Obviously, unfortunately, this is the last night. Characters were in full swing. They had an out front. One character I've never seen before was, I believe, the survivor from the first movie was at the end of the wet path. I did not know that was a thing. I've never seen that before in the other times I've done that house, so I don't know if it's new or if I've just somehow missed it every time. I will say one thing, for sure. Wet path was much wetter. I don't know if you can see it on me. I don't know if it's because it's the last night. They cranked that thing up. There was waterfalls on every single side of that path, and it did get us decently wet. So that was fun. I'm glad that they turned it back up. Obviously, from team member night, they turned it way down because it flooded. So I'm not sure what we're doing right now, but we're definitely going to head to another house here soon. So we're walking through Cat Lady of Crooked Lane right now. This is my favorite scare zone of the year, but I'm putting a few clips of one of our final walkthroughs. really liked Hauntphonic. Starts in about 2 minutes. Figured watch it one more time for this year. I really like this show. Put a few small clips in, but if you're interested in seeing the full show, definitely go check out our full POV for it.
Tonight we're spinning a classic tale for those who don't scare so easily. So hold your loved ones close.
This album. Tonight's story is about to begin. When you hear this sound. Something strange. A creepy tingle rising up your back. You're feeling something right. From your chest. Decide to enter a dark and decrepit house. Once inside, you soon find the most dreadful of welcoming parties is now underway. Welcome to the house of fun. Now I'm in my page. Welcome to the house of fun. Welcome to the house of fun. Welcome to the lion and temptations on its way. Welcome to the house of fun. Fiendish ghouls to this lone, hallowed graveyard, where restless creatures from the beyond have lured you into their This concludes the living portion of the album. Time has arrived, and you must learn what to do. Now that you are to the end of the album. Goodbye.
We hope you've enjoyed tonight's.
Hauntphonic, honestly, is still one of my favorite theme park nighttime shows I've ever seen. I'm a big fan, not Hauntphonic specifically though, more ghoulish. I think this year's show does have some lacking moments in it. I think especially if I had to give a big criticism, the last part of the show, the Fear the Reaper part, takes too long to build up. And it doesn't feel like it gets there fully. At least that's me personally. But I think original Ghoulish was a lot better, but I still think it's fantastic. And I'm really hoping they continue it. I'm going to be walking through Simpsons right now. That's just the guy from Fortnite. Right there. Obviously, chainsaw throughout. We're going to walk towards the back houses. We're going to walk towards the back houses and see what the lines look like. They're all about over an hour, but we'll try to estimate if there's anything lower. Sorry, I forgot to film the entrance, but we got in line for dolls. I specifically want to do dolls tonight, mainly because I have not done it much. It's definitely my least favorite house so far this year, but we'll kind of see how I feel about it after this, so I find a run through. posted 75. We'll see if it actually is. It does seem pretty lengthy back here, so we'll just see what it looks like. So we got out of Dolls and walked all the way over here to New York. Thoughts on Dolls? Unfortunately for us, it was 75 minutes. At least it was posted correctly. The unfortunate part is, again, Express is outrageous tonight, and it was very much felt during that line. We would get to points where we just weren't moving for 15 minutes, and that really sucks. It just makes the line feel really bad. Otherwise, Dolls is still probably my least favorite this year. I don't think it's bad, but that smell at the beginning of the house, I really think it's almost nauseous feeling. I really don't like it. And I just think overall the design of it is fine, but it just feels very boring to me. But I'm going to get a little bit of food before we line up for the last Nightmare Fuel show. It is currently just about 11 o'clock. We want to get in line by 11:30 at the latest for that one. We've kind of made it a tradition to see the last Nightmare Fuel show every year. So we're going to be getting in line and watching that tonight. Alright, so I got a couple food items. I did get the Death by Cheese Stick. That is my favorite food item of the year. I also got the Yum Yum deviled eggs that obviously aren't eggs, or I wouldn't have gotten them. It's just panna cotta with some pineapple. I think both of them are really solid. Cheese steak is definitely my favorite. Yum Yum's one of my favorite desserts. If you can get past the texture, I think it's pretty good. My favorite dessert, though, is that brownie at the Today Cafe. I think it's fire, let me tell you. But didn't want to walk all the way up there. So I just settled for the deviled eggs as my last dessert for HHN 34. Currently, we just walked through the street scare that is Club Horror, and we are going to line up for the 12:30 Nightmare Fuel. That will be, again, officially the last Nightmare Fuel for the season. So we're gonna get in line, make sure we can get in. Hopefully, it's about an hour before show starts, so we're hoping to fill space for us, but we'll see what happens. All right, so it's about 25 minutes to show time. I think they are about to start letting us in. Some of the cast and crew actually came out on the stage up here as we were walking in. But interesting enough, they've been giving us wristbands as we walk in. So blue wristbands, I'm assured to help count for sure to know they have spots for everybody. Also to keep any line hopping from happening tonight. But not too far from the show. We didn't wait too long, but the line is very, very long behind us. And it is getting very full, so I don't think a lot of these people will get in, unfortunately, but we're very excited that we get to watch the last show.
Cursed to relive this performance over and over again. I've seen her die 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways.
This is a wild game of survival. This is a wild game of survival.
right, that was a fantastic last show from the Nightmare Fuel group. So I want to first say this ever can make it to them. I really appreciate the show. I think it's really great. You guys do an amazing work. Obviously, they did a fantastic time with that last show and the whole season, honestly. This is one of the best Nightmare Fuels, in my opinion. I do think I like last year's a little bit more, but that's purely because of music. But otherwise, this year's performance is amazing and great. But otherwise, really like a great show overall. If you didn't know, one of the performers, the one that goes up with the main girl during like the act up in the air, was injured, I believe, about a week ago. But she did make a surprise appearance for that last show to do a little bit of her part. And I mean, that's really cool that she came out for that last little bit. That's why that crowd kind of freaked out when she came out, because she's not been in the shows all week. So again, really cool that she came out for that last show, and obviously that's, I mean, awesome of her, even though she's injured, to come out for that last show. Otherwise, you know, emotions were high in there. I especially bet for the whole staff and crew behind the event. You got to realize, like, they only do this show every few months. They only do this show every few months, so obviously it's pretty emotional when they get to leave. Obviously, they do other acts throughout the year. Definitely go check out their website and stuff if you want to see what else they do. I believe is it called Fuel Girls? I can't remember. I think it's called Fuel Girls, but they are like a traveling group. They do a lot of stuff, I believe, in Europe in their off time. They've even done stuff for Disney at times, that same group. So if you want to check out what more they do, definitely go do that. But again, it was a phenomenal last show. I was really glad we got to see it. Didn't get great spots, obviously, but that didn't super matter. And the ending was super long. I don't know how much I kept in it. They stayed out on stage for like 6 or 7 minutes just hanging out with all the crew and stuff. And I'm glad everybody got to come out and show everything. So, to wrap up our night, I'm going to take you guys quickly through Vampire and through Origins of Horror, since we haven't walked through there yet tonight. And then we're going to end off with Artista, and then hopefully Five Nights at Freddy's after. It is entering the last hour of the night currently. It feels like all the scare actors for that zone are out. That was a dead, I think there might have been as many scare actors as people in there. So that's obviously really cool, something unique you usually don't get. But super cool. I still love Vampire Masquerade. I think it's a really solid Hollywood scare zone. We don't get as many solid Hollywood scare zones in my opinion, so I'm glad this year has such a good feel to it. But we're heading through Origins of Horror, and then we'll be on to Artista. So unfortunately we made it back there to Artista, and it was actually probably about an hour. So I heard some people talking and saying Grave of Flesh didn't have any weight, so we're gonna do Grave of Flesh. Then even though I've done it tonight, most of my party is not. So we're gonna do Grave of Flesh, then go to FNAF. Alrighty, after that quick run through of Grave of Flesh, it is currently 1:48. FNAF is posted at 100 minutes. So we're gonna be heading into line, seeing what time we get out of this place.
Hey, we're back to the house where y'all will be at.
Well, officially through our last house of HHN 34. That was Five Nights at Freddy's. I still really like that house. I still think it is one of the most impressive houses they've ever done. Not necessarily for sets, but for the amount of details and animatronics in that house. I mean, the entrance is just amazing, honestly. When you first take that corner, it's quite the shock of what you get to see. Obviously, they're packing everything up for the final time. They were definitely getting ready for it. I think everyone's pretty worn. We're pretty worn, unfortunately, so we're pretty excited to get home. But FNAF, still really a highlight of this year for me. It's definitely the fun house. It's not very scary, but it is very cool and interesting. I will say one small disappointment for me with that house was a couple of the effects never really fully functioning. First one was that cupcake that was supposed to like swing against the metal, like sparks. I think it worked in Hollywood very briefly. It never worked here. Then also the Foxy at the end of the hallway that was supposed to lunge did, I think, work here slightly, very briefly, but again, wasn't working for most of the event. Did get turned off, and again, another point. That was really disappointing. Obviously, nothing you can really do about it, but it just slightly disappointing. But otherwise, I'll give you my final thoughts on the whole event. When we get outside, I'm obviously going to have a whole dedicated video to this here, talking about the highs and lows, but we will talk about the end of this night. Halloween Horror Nights 34 here in Orlando has now officially come to an end as of tonight. I will say, I have a few thoughts about the event. Again, I think I'm going to make a dedicated video because there's a lot to go over, and I just don't think it will all fit at the end of this. Overall, I think this is probably one of the most solid years of horror nights we've had in a very long time. I don't think there necessarily was a collection of these most like jaw-dropping houses, but with some kind of mediocre ones or some like a couple crazy scare zones with some really bad ones. This year overall just felt really like a good foundation. Like there wasn't any houses that I thought were necessarily bad. Yeah, I didn't love Dolls, but I don't think it was a bad house. Where other years, I definitely think some of the houses are bad. So I think that's the one benefit this year is just nothing was bad, in my opinion. Everything was good enough. Do I think there was a lot of room for improvement, and I hope they do it in the future? Yes. I really hope this is kind of a base for the future events. They see what works, see what didn't work, and really go for a little bit of a wow factor next year. I'm hoping for a couple houses that you walk into and you're like, oh my, like Dead Man's Pier type thing. You know, I think Artista did get kind of close to Dead Man's Pier. I didn't think it quite hit the mark. So I love Artista. It's probably going to go down as one of my favorite Horror Nights houses, but I really want another Dead Man's Pier wow moment when you walk into that house. But Nightmare Fuel, again, was great this year. I'm really hoping it comes back next year with a new storyline. Obviously, the storyline's kind of finished. They survived the year, or they survived like a night, and that takes them out of the time loop. So now that story's officially finished, and I hope we move on to something different, a new theme, new concept. I would love to see it. I've talked about it previously a little bit. I would really love to see a sci-fi year at some point. Though, judging by some speculation now for next year already, does look like we're going to be seeing a certain Dr. Oddfellow back. I saw pictures floating around from tonight that overnight, for the last night of the event, Dr. Oddfellow's symbol showed up on the somewhere in Artista. I don't know if it was out front or somewhere in the house. So I don't know what that means. It might not lead to Dr. Oddfellow. It could lead to something else in the Zodiac. that could be 100% really interesting. But I definitely think we're getting a classic icon next year. It's year 35, it's an anniversary year. Usually they like to give us icons that are pretty classic. I could even see Jack coming back, and I think we'll get a house that will be classic Halloween Horror Nights icon house. But otherwise, again, such a great year for Horror Nights. Huge props to the team here. I really think it was knocked out of the water, especially after last year's a little bit more lackluster event. And they came back swinging. They have proved once again that Halloween Horror Nights is the premier Halloween event probably in the whole world. It's not matched by anything else in the creativity and the set design and everything else. Obviously, it has some flaws just like every other event, but it has a feel to it that I just don't think any other event can really match. So I'm very excited for Halloween Horror Nights next year. Obviously, I'm very sad it's over. I love this event to death. So we will be back in approximately about 10 months for the opening night of year 35 for Halloween Horror Nights. But otherwise, stay tuned. Christmas is coming around, obviously. Holidays are going to be right around the corner. We'll probably have videos within a week or two of full holiday stuff, so stick around. I hope this video brought a little more joy into your day. I hope we see you again real soon.